thing fired up. All right. Okay, we're ready to go. Just about. Let me see here. Let's do this. And we're ready. All right. Thank you, my friends, for tuning in. I appreciate you hanging in. Again, just getting everything all set up here. And we're going to do one more thing just to make sure that everything is connected and is looking good. All right. I think we're ready to rock and roll. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Your Book, Your Voice coffee chat. It's kind of an informal coffee chat that I do every Thursday here on LinkedIn and also on Instagram, where we talk about the audiobook world, right? This is your place to bring your questions about the audiobook world. If you're a nonfiction author and you have a book that's published and you don't have your book in audiobook form, you really need to do so because you need to narrate your own audiobook. Not only just have an audiobook, but narrate your own audiobook because you are the author. You're the one who wrote the nonfiction book. You are the one who put your blood, sweat, and tears into writing this great book that you've published. And to preserve your author brand, right? To preserve your voice, which is already in your written word, you need to narrate your own audiobook. You definitely need to narrate your own audiobook because nobody can tell your story. Nobody can speak your story better than you can. So that's why you need to narrate your own audiobook. I am an audiobook coach and producer. That's what I do for a living. I love doing it. I love helping authors being able to turn their audiobook into a book that they narrate and helping you through the process. I do have a coaching program, which is called Your Book, Your Voice. Appropriately titled. Everything is actually labeled as Your Book, Your Voice. the podcast and the coffee chat and, of course, my course. It's real simple for you to find out more information about how you can narrate your own audiobook and be published on the AAA. And I call that the AAA because we're talking about Audible, Amazon, and Apple Books. Those are the three distribution platforms you definitely need to be on. And if you're not, I mean, there are other distribution platforms, but if you're not on those platforms, you really need to be there because that's where most people go to grab their audiobook material because that's what the general public is really most familiar with. Again, as I mentioned, there are other platforms that you can be published on, but those are the three that you definitely need to do and need to be on. Now, if you are interested in turning your book into an audiobook and finding out more about the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program, by all means, book a call with me. I'd love to hear from you because let's talk about your book. Let's find out what your marketing goals are. Let's find out what you want to do with your audiobook, and I can show you how and talk to you how you can utilize your audiobook to boost sales for the other formats of your book and how to use your audiobook to get speaking gigs. And there's so many things you can do with an audiobook, but most importantly, you are expanding to an audience that maybe only listens to audiobooks because more and more people do that. More and more people are listening to audiobooks, than buying paperbacks and hardcovers and ebooks. Not that those don't sell, they definitely do, but you got to get into the audiobook world. So we'd love to speak with you. Book a call with me. All right. For those of you on LinkedIn, I do have a graphic on the screen there for the call link, which is my calendar, and you will speak with me directly. All right. So book a call. There's no pressure. If we resonate and you want to get involved and find out more and enroll into the program and be published in 6 weeks, not 6 months, not 6 years, not 3 months even, then book a call. And for those of you on Instagram, you're not seeing the graphic, but you can always go to my profile page, click the link there, and it says, schedule an audiobook consultation, free call, book a call. Would love to speak with you, talk to you about your book, and give you more information about the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program. And again, that link is bit.ly/audiobook onboarding. That's bit.ly audiobook onboarding. And one more thing that I wanted to share with you before we dive into our topic today is this. I do have a free audiobook narration reference guide. Would love to have you have a copy of that. Give some really good tools and techniques on how to do a great narration because, again, you as a nonfiction author need to narrate your own audiobook. So grab your free PDF download. Again, it's another bit.ly link, bit.ly/narration reference guide. It's there on LinkedIn. You can see the graphic. And for those of you on Instagram, again, just go to my profile page. There's a bunch of links in there. When you click the link, it's a link tree, so you can grab your free narration guide there as well. And of course, you can always go to robertlanecoaching.com, which talks about the audiobook coaching program and has all these links there as well. All right, so today's topic is time is on your side, said no author ever. So the first question I want to ask you, and feel free to comment either on LinkedIn or on Instagram. What did you do when you were writing your nonfiction book, when you were going through the process of writing your book? What did you do to manage your time? How were you able to schedule time to write your book? Because we're talking about time management today. And actually, some of the things that I'm going to share with you today are just really good tools and techniques that you should apply just to daily life, because managing time is super, super important. And as a nonfiction author, just as an author in general, you need to have time to and schedule time to work on your book and especially record your audiobook. And the reason why I bring up this topic is I hear this all the time. Oh, I don't have time it takes too much time to record an audiobook. I don't have time. And that's a false belief. And I want to crush that false belief because you do have time. The number one thing I want you to remember, which is obvious, is that we all have the same 24 hours in a day, right? We all do. We have 24 hours in a day. Now, how you utilize that time makes all the difference in the world, whether you are successful or whether you are struggling or maybe even failing at trying to get the things done that you need to get done, especially as an author. As an author, remember, you are a professional. You published a book, right? You wrote a book, you published a book. Maybe you're in the process of writing a book. You are a professional, and you need to embrace that fact that you are a professional. You're not a hobbyist. Even if you have a day job, if you're working 9 to 5 and you only get to work on your book on nights and weekends, that's okay. Because if you have a published book, you are a professional. You are an entrepreneur. You're a creative. You are an author, right? You've done it. So embrace your professionalism. And remember this, one of my catchphrases I say all the time is, you are the CEO of you, which means the buck stops right here, okay? The buck stops with you. And that means that the decisions that you make for your author brand are your decisions. And to move your business forward as an author, you need to make some really good decisions for your business, okay? And you do have time, right? You do have time to narrate your own audiobook. Write your next novel, write your next nonfiction book, whatever you're working on. You do have time, right? We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Now, I am curious, again, I'll ask this question. When you wrote your book, how did you manage your time? How did you manage your time? All right. I would love to hear about that. Now, I do want to share with you on this coffee chat. No, before we do, something really, really important that I don't want to miss out on. And that is, we got a toast. I want to toast to you for getting up in the morning, tackling your day, getting the things done that you need to get done. And hey, look at that, 33% more. Hey, you can't knock that. So cheers to you. Grab your favorite brew and let's toast. I'm toasting to you for just being an awesome human being. How about that? Nothing like a good brew to get you fired up and keep you going all day, right? All right. So again, let's dive into some tools and techniques that you can do to manage your time. Now, we are busy. We live busy lives. but maybe you don't realize about how much time you really do have. And it's just a matter of shuffling and reallocating things that you do and prioritizing things that you do to make room for time, all right, to make room for things that you need to accomplish. There's one thing that you can do. So, this is what I want to share with you, one of these techniques, and that is a time audit. I don't know if you've ever done anything like that before, but it works like this, okay? You grab a paper or a notebook, and once you get up in the morning, okay, you are going to audit your time. You're going to keep track of everything that you do for a full 24-hour period and log what is it that you do, how much time it takes for you to accomplish those tasks that you're doing for the day. So, for example, let's say you get up at 6 in the morning. You're up at 6 in the morning. You write that down. What's the first thing do? Do you grab your phone, go through social media? Maybe you do post. Maybe you just check emails. Some people do that right when they get up in the morning. Well, how much time does it take for you to do that? Log it down. I spend a half an hour checking emails. Great. So log it down. How much time does it take for you to get up, to get ready for work, to eat breakfast, to drive to work if you are going into an office? How much time does it take for you to grab lunch, drive back home? How much time do you spend watching TV or Netflix or streaming videos or YouTube or TikTok or whatever, Log this down and do this all the way until you go to bed and you go to sleep. And even sleep time you want to log as well. I slept for 8 hours. Great. Now you're going to do this process. You're going to log your time. You're doing this time audit for at least 3 days. Do it for 3 days because you're collecting data. And this is really important because what you're going to do is once you've done this for 3 days, you're going to analyze your data. You're going to look at it and you're going to go, okay, what really do I do every day? And how much time do I really spend on each thing that I'm doing every day? Okay. So then you can really figure out and prioritize. Wow. I didn't realize that every evening when I come home from work, I'm spending, 2.5, 3 hours watching TV and Netflix. Or, maybe instead of taking a half an hour lunch, I'm taking an hour and a half lunch. Or maybe I'm spending a lot of time on social media. I spend an hour just scrolling through my social media. These are things that you can cut back on time and then prioritize and then do things that you need to get done. So, hey, here's an hour of time that I spent watching Netflix. Well, forget that. I'm going to spend an hour working on my audiobook. I'm going to narrate my next chapter. You see, you can change and manipulate your schedule and reprioritize the things that are important for you to move your author business forward. That's so important, right? Because again, you are a professional. You're not a hobbyist. You are an author. You have a nonfiction book that's published. Time for you to take it to the next level and do it as an audiobook. And you can do it, all right? Even if you've never done speaking in front of public, right? No public speaking, that's okay. You still can do a great narration. This thing here, the microphone, does that scare you? Don't let it, because what I teach in my audiobook coaching program is about, confidence and mindset. And I give you exercises to help you do a great narration so that you are authentic, so that you are conversational, and so that you are compelling with your narration, and the listener is on the edge of their seat, right? They're like, wow, this is a great audiobook, and they love listening to you, and that you're consistent from opening credits to closing credits. That's all part of it. Mindset is a huge factor, but doing a time audit is such a great thing because it really does show you facts, right? You're looking at data, so you are seeing facts of what it takes to change your schedule around, okay? Another thing that's really important, and again, these are just really basic things that will help you do greater time management, better time management. The other thing is distractions, okay? If you are focusing on doing something, let's say you're going to record your audiobook, you're ready to go, you need to take away any distractions. So if your cell phone's with you while you're recording, get it out of the room. If there are people in your home where you're recording your audiobook, or wherever you're doing your audiobook, or even writing your book, tell people, hey, for the next hour, please don't disturb me. I need to focus on doing my audiobook. Okay. So again, eliminating distractions. Simple thing, but makes a huge difference. All right. The other thing that I want to share with you in regards to time management is, before I do that, one thing that I want to tell you is this: multitasking is a lie. Multitasking does not exist. There's no such thing as multitasking, 100%, and it has been proven as a fact that there isn't such a thing as multitasking. You think you're doing multiple things at the same time, but your brain doesn't work that way. Even your computer doesn't work that way. The way the mind works, the way this computer up in your head works, is that you are doing one thing at a time, and all you're doing is jumping from one thing to another, back and forth. And what happens is that you are not giving the proper attention to the task at hand. You need to focus on that one task if you're going to do a great job. This is where quality suffers. This is where people make mistakes, and you end up having to do things over. And guess what? It takes more time, right? We want to manage our time. We don't want to create more problems for time. All right. So it's important that you are very focused in managing your time. And like I say, multitasking it's a distraction. We're talking about distractions. Okay. So it doesn't exist. When you go from one thing to another, you're just jumping. Okay. And it's hard for the brain to be able to focus. Okay. It's hard for the brain to focus on multiple things because it doesn't. You have to give yourself time. You have to give your mental computer time to get into your deep work mode so that you're giving proper attention to the job at hand. Okay. So just wanted to tell you that, multitasking. I remember, back in the day when we would fill out our resumes, it's like, I can multitask. Now it's supposed to be a positive thing, but honestly, it really isn't. It really isn't. Okay. You need to be more efficient. All right. We're talking about efficiency, quality, and eliminating mistakes. All right. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about before we wrap up here on Coffee Chat is this. We all have to-do lists. And I can sit and just do a brain dump and write out, 30 things on a list. Easy. These are things that need to get done. Now, if you're going to go off of that list, that's going to be pretty difficult to do because you're going to feel overwhelmed, and you're going to just look at that and go, really? And then it's going to be harder for you to check things off that list. So what you need to do when you start your day is you create a to-do list. Actually, what's better is that the night before, you create a to-do list, all right? And you put the maximum five top things that you need to accomplish for the following day. And it's good to write it out the night before, because when you go to sleep, your subconscious will actually be thinking about it and coming up with ways to be able to complete these 5 tasks, all right? So write them down. Write down those 5 tasks. What are the things that you need to do to accomplish for the following day? And just keep it to not more than 5. It can even be less than that, but if they're important tasks, get them done. Now, the important thing is, whatever is the toughest and the hardest thing for you to do on that to-do list, you need to do that first. And I call that my ugly ogre, all right? I call that my ugly ogre, okay? And that's this guy. I'm the worst thing on your to-do list. But here's the thing. When you tackle that ugly ogre and you accomplish that task, even if it takes half a day, once it's gone, right? That weight that's on your shoulders to get that big job done is off. All right. And you're not putting it off to the next day. I'm not going to be able to get to it. I'll just do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and then, I'm not going to get to it. I'm going to do it tomorrow. You got to stop that habit. You got to break that bad habit. Okay. Get the ugly ogre done. Get that hard task done. And you know what? Even if you don't get to the other 4 things on your list, if it takes you all day, getting that hardest task done for that day is crucial because that will move you forward. And once you get that done, and let's say you are able to get the other 4 tasks on your to-do list done, you may have more time to do more things. So go to that master list of that brain dump that you did and pull other things off that list to tackle. All right. So again, when it comes to to-do lists, you want to make sure that you are not putting more than 5 things and get the hardest thing done first. And again, if you don't get to the other tasks, just do a reassessment before you go to sleep and see, well, what these 4 things that were left over that I didn't get done, are they important? What's one more thing that I can add to this list? And then reprioritize and then figure out what on that list will be your ugly ogre for the next day. All right. You will be more efficient with your time. This is what you need to do as an author. You got to focus because you're an entrepreneur. And one of the hardest things about entrepreneurship is discipline. You have to be disciplined to get the job done, even in any job, really. But when you're running a business for yourself, it's very important because remember, you are the CEO of you. Very important. All right. So time management, again, is super important. All right. Now, if you have any thoughts about it, by all means, comment. You can always message me if you like. I'd love to hear from you. I do want to touch on a little bit about the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program. But before I do, one more thing that I do want to share with you is that every Thursday, I host the Your Book, Your Voice podcast and would love to have you join me tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. The best place to catch it live, because I would love to have you participate live, is on the Bold Brave TV YouTube channel. Go to and you click streams. You'll find this picture that you see on the screen there on LinkedIn. And of course on Instagram, as I say, go to my profile page, click on the link and you can click on, podcasts, hear the podcast live. I have a very special guest. It is a gentleman who is a best-selling author and has written a couple of great books. His name is Paul Shatskin. He is a visionary, and he has written a couple of books that are just fantastic. One's called The Boy Who Invented Television, who actually I worked with Paul in getting his audiobook done that he narrated himself, which is fantastic. We're going to talk about that. It's going to be a great podcast. So please join me tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, for the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. Again, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. Go to their YouTube channel and you'll be able to catch it live there. And then, of course, it is archived on all your favorite podcast channels afterwards, but I'd love to have you join the live stream. All right. Now, in regards to the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program, real quickly, it is a 6-week program. I provide you with the equipment that you need to narrate your own audiobook, okay? Professional microphone, headphones, everything. We go over setup and preparation, teach you how to set up your own recording space, teaching you then the next phase, which is how to do a great narration, how to be confident, how to be authentic and conversational, how to be consistent with your audio levels, how to be in the right frame of mind before you hit the record button, all these things. So you will record your audiobook. As you record your audiobook, you are sending the files to me to edit, where I do all the cleanup for you and make sure they meet the exact specifications for publication so you will not be rejected on Audible, Amazon, or Apple. You are 100% guaranteed to be published. I've got 20 plus years experience as an audio editor, worked 30 plus years in the entertainment business. So not only are you getting a coach, but you're getting an editor. Everything is here for you. All right. And I will upload all your audio files that create your audiobook for publication, so you don't even have to worry about that step. You own everything. It is 100% yours. It's your audiobook. We don't take any percentages of that. It's yours. And then part of the program is that I do talk about ways that you can market your audiobook and utilize it for boosting revenue. All right. So the first thing that you would need to do is just schedule a call with me, book a call. We talk with me. I don't send you to somebody else. We do talk one-on-one. I want to hear about your book. And then if it resonates with you about what I do, and if I resonate with you and you resonate with me, we'll get you enrolled. Okay. And you can always go to robertlanecoaching.com for more information about the program. There's more. As a matter of fact, there's also clips of authors who have gone through the program who you can hear. And they're not professionals, but they sound fantastic, and you will too. All right. So if you're a nonfiction author, you have a book that's published out there, got to turn it into an audiobook in your own voice, because you're preserving the integrity of your author brand. You're preserving your voice, which is in your written word. By you narrating it, you're preserving the integrity of your author brand, and that's very important. All right, and do it right, and don't cut corners. That's another mistake I see people do. They try to do it themselves, and they try to cut corners, and guess what? Audible rejects their audiobook because they did not meet the exact specifications. So that's why people hire a coach, and I would love to work with you. All right. So with that, my friends, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Your Book, Your Voice Coffee Chat. I'm here every Thursday. Please join me. If there's a topic about the audiobook world you'd like me to talk about, let me know. Shoot me a message. Add some comments here on the archive of the broadcast, and that'd be great. I'd love to hear from you. And you can always go to robertlanecoaching.com and reach out to me there as well. And my last assignment for you, my friends, is this. When you're out and about in the world, smile at a stranger, all right? Say hello to them. It takes, 5 or 10 seconds out of your day? But that small gesture of kindness can make all the difference in somebody's life. Maybe they're having a bad day, and you, by sharing this little bit of kindness, can make somebody's life better. So be good humans. Again, I'm going to toast to you. Be good humans, my friends. All right. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next week on the Your Book, Your Voice Coffee Chat. Again, book a call if you want to find out more about the program that I teach for the audiobook coaching program. And have a great day, my friends. We'll say goodbye to our LinkedIn friends first. So you guys have a great day.